Good morning, Mountains. We are live here. I'm in Warfield, Kentucky. Darryl McCoy here with JJ Pruitt in Man, West Virginia. You're watching the Startup Morning Show. JJ, good morning.
Good morning to you as well. How are you today, Darryl?
It's been a hectic day early here.
Well, can you tell me what's going on?
Well, obviously our Facebook is not working this morning. So for you folks that watch on YouTube, you guys will get a nice treat today, as it is a YouTube exclusive, and we will take and post it over to Facebook later in the day. I guess yesterday Facebook hit us with a copyright infringement, and we have a 24-hour ban. So this will be posted on Facebook, but just a little bit later today. And I hate it because we got a great show lined up with Austin Sparrow, head coach of the CU Harrodsburg Pioneers. And then we also got Weston Harris, Betsy Lane, defensive lineman. So make sure you guys are tuning in on YouTube. Let all of our regulars know. And guys, if you don't care, keep that comment section coming. That way that we can include y'all in the show today, because it will be a little off. JJ, August the 7th. What this day in history do you got today?
Okay, in 1888, the first murders committed by Jack the Ripper took place in London's East End, which is really interesting. And this is one of my favorite ones. This is in 1974. French-born Philippe Petit walked on a high wire between the newly built Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City, about 1,350 feet above the ground. He was arrested, but the charges were later dismissed. Now, I thought that was insane. They actually did a movie about him. I think it's called The Walk, which I think it came out in like 2015.
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
Yeah, the entire process that he had to go through to try to, get the wire from one side of the tower to the other Twin Tower and then successfully walk across it. I mean, this dude that's insane. He was able to pull that off.
I wonder how he was able to do it. I think I've seen the movie, but I can't remember the gist of it. But it definitely, when you're sitting there looking, I mean, that's tough, especially if you don't, if you're trying to sneak and do it, and what at the moment in time when it was, you didn't have all the safety features that you got today. And as you can look right there, he's not tied off anywhere.
Absolutely. And then, like, I think if you watch the film, like, there's one scene where he actually lays on the wire.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, you see how I was whenever we were in Pikeville.
Yeah,
just trying to look at that overlook, and that's only probably 100 feet
high. I still got a video of trying to get JJ to walk across a bridge that crosses the river. So I got a video to show people. We'll show that on another day when I can get it loaded up. But I do not see you being able to do this, JJ.
Absolutely not. And then I got one last one, which is kind of an infamous moment in time. In 2007, American baseball player Barry Bonds hit his 756th career home run, breaking the record set by Hank Aaron.
Wow, so that's a huge one.
Yeah, and I think that, he should still be in the Hall of Fame, but there's a lot of people out there that think that record is tainted.
No, that record. No, I mean, at least you still got to hit the ball. I mean, no matter what, I just it does. Like Hank Aaron, like he was an athlete. He was a little further than Babe Ruth, but a lot of people, when they see Babe Ruth's records, like, they don't realize how special Babe Ruth was. This dude was smoking cigarettes, drinking beers, and, hanging out in nightclubs, before games, and still done what he was able to do. But, but still, huge feat by Barry Bonds. He'll always be the home run king in my book.
Absolutely. And you have to think about the stuff he had to go through in the 90s as well. I mean, everybody was doing it. I mean, that, it just wasn't him by himself. And then when you're going against pitchers like Roger Clemens, who was a 7-time Cy Young winner, I mean, when you got to go against people like that, like, you have to do something to try to at least even the playing field.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, the record stands for me in my book. I don't know about you guys. Let us know where you guys at home, what your guys' thoughts on it are. But JJ, as we sit here and move on, we got a lot of stories to go over today. A lot of interesting stories. One of the first stories that caught my eye today, I don't know if you've seen, but CVS and Walgreens is both of them are shutting down thousands of stores across the U.S. And there's a lot of reasons why they're doing it. They're not as I guess the big thing, one of the biggest things and biggest reasons why is they, when you look, the first one I seen do this was in Prestonsburg, and they're shutting down thousands of their normal size stores, saying that, they was overbuilt, that, the market is overflooded with drugstores, over 30,000 drugstores in the U.S. And they're saying that right now it's hard for them to stay open because of thefts. They said theft was a part of it. Rising competition with Amazon, Walmart, and Dollar Tree. And they also are struggling with thinner reimbursements on prescriptions. So they're trying to make it a more customer-friendly atmosphere by creating these smaller Walgreens. And I've been in one, and it looks identical to what you're seeing right there. It's got 2 aisles. You go straight to the counter, and it's in and out. It is quicker service, but at the end of the day, a lot of people are upset with this because, they're used to shopping for their toiletry and more while they're getting their prescriptions filled. And, I myself, I think, the reason that they're seeing a decline in customers is probably more the pricing than anything, because if you don't have insurance, you would be ignorant to go to a CVS or Walgreens, because, I mean, you're talking a large 30-40% increase in prescriptions at them chain pharmacies, to where you can go to your local pharmacy and get it a lot cheaper.
I agree with you 100%. And I think one of the biggest issues, like, the first thing I thought of is every time that I've ever walked into a CVS pharmacy or a Walgreens, I look at the prices of everything, and it seems like everything is triple. I'm thinking, like, when I look at the cost of this bottle of ibuprofen, and it's like $7.50. I'm thinking that exact same bottle was $4 at Walmart. Go ahead.
Well, and the thing is you're sitting here, they're closing thousands of stores, but they're opening up hundreds of stores where they're just going to, not only, like, these right here are fine if you just want to have a prescription based drugstore, but they're opening up hundreds more drugstores to where they're just going to, the only thing they're going to do on there is focus on personal health and sell store branded merchandise. So you're going to go get your Walgreens shirts and, be able to take, and I guess, buy magazines about health, probably get vitamins, stuff like that. I mean, I don't know what else they're going to do there, but, it's not going to be a normal store. It's just going to be store branded merchandise and focusing on health and fitness, to where, are you really going to, I mean, if I would rather have the store they got than, a store, why waste money on that, when, how many people have you ever seen in your life have a Walgreens or a CVS t-shirt on besides people at work there?
I've never seen one person.
Exactly.
Never.
So, I mean, you're trying to save money, but at the same time, you're throwing money away. And they're actually testing a store in Chicago to where they got a digital kiosk to where people can just go in, put their order in, and then you go to another counter and pick it up. and that takes all the customer interaction. And if you do that, I don't like that personally, because I grew up, man, going to your local pharmacy, going to Hurley Drugs, still going back there in the back. Everybody know you by name. It just makes you feel better. And then if you got a problem with your insurance and stuff, they're like, okay, I'll call it for you.
It's almost like their family.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's what it feels like when you walk in your local pharmacy. So, I always recommend anyways. I always tell people all the time, do not shop at these stores, and I say that but there's many times that you have to go there because local stores won't stay open, or, they won't have a certain prescription that these bigger ones have. Now, that's the only side to it. But, if you can shop local, stay at your local pharmacies, because this Walgreens opened in Prestonsburg, opened up right beside of two I know of, I think 3 pharmacies. It literally sat down right in the middle of 3 pharmacies within like a 2-block period.
That's messed up. It's like, well, come on. Like, can't everybody make a profit? I mean, why does everything have to be together? Like, it's almost like all of these restaurants, which I can get that, because you may not be in the mood for specific foods, but as far as pharmacies goes, it's like if you have these pharmacies in a variety of places, that's actually beneficial to the community, because there's people out there that may not have a vehicle that can make it to this spot. So put it in a spot that's maybe closer for people to drive instead of just next to your competition.
Yeah, and that's the. I get frustrated talking about stuff like this, because local pharmacies mean a lot to our area, and and I'll be honest, a lot of what we do here at D&D Sports is on local pharmacies, because when you go into these areas, one thing's guaranteed is that if you go to your local pharmacy, they're one of the most likely people to sponsor a local sporting event than any other business. So, shop local and help the people that's helping the kids in the community in your area.
Absolutely.
So, JJ, $30 million, $33 million to be exact, is being shelled out to sea turtle rescues. They're saying that since in the year 2000, there was only 50 code-stunned sea turtles washed up on shore. It reached up to 766 in the last census, which was in 2022 in Cape Cod. Now, $33 million to sea turtle rescue. Is Congress wasting money here?
I mean, they've wasted money on much worse things. I mean, out of the billions and billions of dollars that you've heard that they've given away to other countries and spent on other things, I mean, that's probably the most positive thing I could think of that they've spent their money on. I mean, I'm not saying that it's necessary, but at the same time, I'm like, well, it's better than, I guess it's a start.
It is a start, but at the end of the day, I do not know if that's does it really take $33 million is my thing. That's what I want to know. Does it take $33 million to rescue sea turtles? And if that's the case, then I'm about to move up to the New England area and open up a sea turtle rescue.
And there you go. Maybe we could get some grants and get some,
Yeah. And that's my big thing is, at the end of the day, that, with this right here, listen, I get it. Sea turtles are becoming extinct. They're saying a lot of it is because of the pollution in the air and global warming. They're saying that sea turtles are trying to get up on the beaches to where they can get warm, because they're cold stunned, the water's too cold for them. And, I don't know how you rescue them. I don't know if you just pick them up, put them back in the water, or, where they're going to be cold too, or if you're going to take them somewhere, or, I don't really know what they're rescuing here or how they're rescuing, but
I would imagine it would have to be taking them to a certain location. That would make the most sense. It's like, are you going to open up like some kind of facility or some kind of aquarium and put them in?
I mean, but you can't keep them all there, So
I mean, how many are we talking? I mean, how big of an aquarium can you make for $33 million?
Well, I mean, if you got, they're saying 766 washed up on the ocean. All right, that's just in Cape Cod. So, I mean, imagine all around the world, but they're also saying that they're in danger of becoming extinct. So who knows? I don't know how many's out there.
Yeah, I mean, it may really cost $33 million, or they could be just using that money for something else.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with our daily Olympic breakdown. Make sure you guys come right back and join us here on the Startup Morning Show with JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy. Winning tire shop that focuses on customer service that's family owned and family operated. Stop by and see our friends Jeremy and Chasta at Punk's Tires. If you have a hectic work schedule and you're looking for a non-stressful, convenient way to buy tires, take advantage of Punk's Tires appointment Saturdays. If they don't have the tire you're looking for, they guarantee it to have it the next day. Punk's Tires can take care of all your needs in tires, wheels, wheel alignments, brakes, rotors, minor mechanic work, and more. They'll treat you like family from the second you walk through the door. Come see us in Virgie, Kentucky, or give us a call at 606-639-TIRE. That's 606-639-TIRE.
Central America, head to Sal's Steakhouse. Sizzle your senses with mouthwatering steaks, juicy burgers, savory chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Sal's Steakhouse, where your taste buds will thank you. Unleash the flavor at Sal's. Taste tradition, taste the difference.
Pizza and pasta around. Stop by Conley Brothers Giovanni's in Prestonsburg, Kentucky. Right now, Conley Brothers Giovanni's now has a new drive-thru for your convenience. Great deals, great service. Conley Brothers Giovanni's, proud supporter of all mountain athletes. We are back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy here as JJ. We are here on this beautiful day, and here in the mountains, school starts today. So big day for parents.
I didn't know school. Is it just Pike County, or is it in West Virginia as well?
Pike County and Martin County, I know both start today. We put that list up not long ago. Most of the schools in the state of Kentucky starts today. A few of them will start later. I think a lot of them start on next Tuesday, and then it spreads out throughout the month, where a few more start later on. Through life, or through the month.
Oh, okay. So your son, he started today?
Yes, and it was a bittersweet day, as you know, my son recently transferred to Belfry, and he is staying with his mama. So this is the first day that I've not had him in my house at the start of school, and it's a sad day for me and his mother.
I can see a tear falling out of your left eye from here.
It is a sad day not having him here. We're always used to having him right here, but with the move, he's had to stay at his mama's, and I hope he's having a good day, and I'll see him later this evening during his workouts.
Absolutely. You got 20, 30 plus years to go to spend with him. Let him spend as much time with his grandma as he can,
I guess. I don't like it, though. So as school starts, I want to remind people, make sure, when you're driving, be careful, because there's a lot of new drivers on the roads. So make sure you're careful this morning. You watch out for the local drivers and move on. But JJ, as we move on, I don't know if you've seen, but local rapper Baby T, she is running for city council. She's asking people to type in Baby T Sexton. She's going around house to house to try to get votes. And I don't know if you know Baby T, but she is from Mingo Central. She's the pride of Mingo Central.
I've never met Baby T, but I've heard a lot of good things about her. I know that she used to record rap music as well. And I've never met a single person who had a bad thing to say about Baby T. And based on that, she's definitely got my vote.
Yeah, they as you're sitting there, she was a rapper back in the heyday, back when the King Bay Dixon and all them was at Mingo Central. So she used to do rap videos with them. So she's running for city council. So be interesting to see if she could actually pull some weight, because normally you don't see people that are able to do the type-in candidates actually work.
Well, I think that if there's one person that has a legitimate shot, it's going to be her, because she's going to have a huge support, a huge following all throughout Mingo County.
She will. And JJ, a story that saddens me but makes me happy. Charles Barkley, he has signed a deal to stay on with TNT throughout this, controversy where the NBA turned down TNT's, they made an offer to match Amazon Prime and NBC's offer to keep some NBA games on TNT, and the NBA turned it down, and I actually think this is horrible for the NBA, because the regular season to me does not matter, without Charles Barkley, Shaq, Ernie, and Kenny.
I agree with that 100%. I mean, I can get on YouTube and I can pull up old episodes of Inside the NBA, and it doesn't matter like what game that they're covering, just the level of entertainment, the segments that they have, EJ's Nito Stat of the Night, Shaq and a Fool. I mean, they've got so many segments that are entertaining to watch, no matter, what day it is, no matter what game is going on. You tune in just to listen to them, just the segments.
You do. And, that I rush home all the time, not to watch the game, but I rush home just to catch Inside the NBA. So, I really think the NBA is really sticking a foot in their own rear right here with this decision, because, but Barkley, he's going to stay on with TNT. Said that, they still do NHL, they still do some college basketball games, and then I think they reach a deal with the Big East, and they're going to be doing Big East games. But, I wonder how much they said that Ernie and Barkley has both come out, said they're going to stay with TNT after Barkley originally announced he was retiring earlier in the year. But I wonder, Shaq and Kenny, they have not. They said their future is uncertain. But I wonder if it would still work, if Inside the NBA would still work without an NBA game on, if you still could have a nightly show.
I think that you could. I think the people would tune in. I mean, they're really good.
My only thing with that is I don't know 100% if or when, like you go to some hotels, for instance, it's hard to find TNT at times. I don't know. It would be a lot easier, and I could say it would work a lot more if it was on a sports channel like ESPN or something. But I don't know that that's the only thing that scares me, is that not everybody has TNT.
Absolutely. So I have a question for you. What is your most memorable Inside the NBA segment that you can remember? Do you have any that stand out to you that you think are like the funniest one?
No, probably the one that stands out the most is probably when when Ernie was going through his cancer, and then I guess when what was his name, Craig
Sager.
Yeah, Craig Sager, when all the stuff happened to him, and he passed away. I guess those are the big sentimental moments. And then when Barkley and Shaq, whenever they had their free throw contest, that was definitely an interesting show. There's so many good ones, but it's really the dramatic ones that stand out for me.
Yeah, I try to go with the positive ones. I mean, the dramatic ones are always going to stand out, like even when they did the segment whenever Kobe passed away.
Yeah.
But I think of, the time that Kenny Smith raced Chris Webber and he didn't run through the tape and he ended up losing the race, or that time that Shaq tripped and fell whenever he was trying to beat Kenny to the wall.
All right, JJ, we're up against the hard break. It's 8:30. We got to take a quick commercial break. Hopefully on the other end, we will have CU Harrodsburg coach Austin Sparrow joining us. We'll be right back.
Wear a lot of hats. There are coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
In America, what does that mean? It means jobs. It means craftsmanship. And when it comes to Vaughan Bassett furniture, it means value. And Kemper recognizes that. That's why they've dedicated an entire gallery to Vaughan Bassett. Made in America. See the quality. And now, see the price. Come see your favorite Kemper store in Hazard, London, or Somerset.
We're back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy in the house here, guys. It is a YouTube exclusive. We'll share it over to Facebook here in a second. I know I've had people blowing me up wanting to know where the show's at. We are on a 24-hour ban, I think, so we should be back to normal tomorrow. But JJ, I'm excited. We got a great show, great guest, very jam-packed show from here on out.
I'm really excited as well. And you said that our first guest is a head coach?
It's the head coach of the CU Harrodsburg Pioneers.
Man, I'm excited.
He's one of our favorite coaches here in the mountains because he recruits mountain athletes. So big shout out to him. We'll talk about that whenever he gets on here. But, football's starting to gear up. There was some 7-on-7 going on yesterday. How excited are you for football season?
I'm really excited, and everybody that watches this show knows that I haven't really been as active when it comes to keeping up with the kids, in local sports and stuff. And I can't tell you, that's probably the one thing that I'm most excited about with this job is just getting an opportunity to see, the talent and the evolution of sports and see how much, this network really is able to help these kids. I mean, I'm really excited to, see that. I'm excited to see how Belfry does this year. I'm excited to see how Coach Jones does with Mingo Central. I think they're going to have a terrific year. And I'm like you, I'm really pumped up for the football season this year.
I am stoked, man, as it's gearing up. Basketball is, of course, it's my favorite, JJ, and it's Absolutely. Not even close. I love basketball. But But basketball, whenever you take a look at basketball, it's every night. So a lot of people get wore out with basketball. Football, I don't get wore out because I have a passion and a love for the game. A lot of people, it's hard for them to match that. But, but at the same time, I think that, I think that football is more of a focus because it's one day a week, JJ.
Yeah. Absolutely, and it's like even you said that your Crunch Time show is that what it's called?
Yeah.
The football that's once a week as well, right?
That is once a week as well, JJ.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
it's
so
normally every Thursday is when you'll find it.
well, I'm looking forward to checking that out and seeing that as well.
Well, without further ado, CU Harrodsburg coach Austin Sparrow in the house. How you doing this morning, Coach?
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Good morning. So where are you at today, Coach?
I'm at the house. I usually start every morning here. We've got a farm out in Selvisa, Kentucky, which is kind of the county part of Mercer, Kentucky. I'm about 15 minutes from the gym, so I get my peace and quiet. But also, I'm really close to the gym whenever I need to be there.
Coach, real quick, tell us a little bit about people that don't know you. Tell them where you grew up, your background in basketball, and how you ended up where you're at today.
I first started playing basketball when I was really little. My mother and father coached high school basketball across the state of Kentucky. They coached at Covington Holmes High School, Anderson County High School, in Franklin County, Mercer County, Scott County. So I really grew up in the gym with them. I played and have lived in Mercer County for the past 12 years of my life. My mom was the counselor here. My dad was the assistant principal in Franklin County at multiple different schools. Um, I played basketball at Lindsey Wilson College. I also ran track for 4 years at Lindsey Wilson College. So being a two-sport athlete there, and then when I graduated, I knew the one thing that I wanted to do was be a college basketball coach. And there was this school that got started up in my hometown, and everybody said I should come home and be a part of it. We did that in 2019, and the rest is history.
So I actually did not know the background. So, CU Harrodsburg is just started in 2019, and you're the only coach in history.
So it didn't start in 2019, but it started athletics in the 2017-18 season. So 2 years before I got there, they had one club year, and then they had their first official season in 2018-19. Then I got there in 1920. My first season was 1920, and then my second college basketball season ever was the COVID year. So like my first recruiting class, I was recruiting in the middle of COVID, trying to figure it all out, and I was like, "Is this normal?" Like just talking to my coaching friends, and they were like, "No."
You got through into the fire quickly, Coach.
Yes.
So as you're sitting here, look, you got to be one of the youngest head coaches in college basketball. How old are you, Coach?
I am 28 years old, and I've been doing this for 6 years now.
6 years. So when you started, have you ever met a coach as young as you was when you started?
22 is pretty young. I haven't met anyone that's that age. I've got a couple peers across the country that are 23, 24, and 25 that are on the younger side that are getting into the coaching world now. But I haven't seen anybody else that's been, I think at the time, whenever in 2019, when I got hired, I was the youngest college basketball coach, regardless of level, in the entire country.
Oh, wow. That's a huge feather in your hat, because, that's the thing, and at 22, I got to imagine you probably never had an opportunity to coach at a lower level, did you? Did you ever coach at high school or anything?
No, I did get the opportunity at Lindsey Wilson College under Chris Starks and Paul Peck, who were my head coach. My junior and senior year of college, I got to coach the JV team. I got to help with scouting reports, recruiting, stats. They really kind of baptized me in college basketball and helped me get to where I am today. So, like, my preparation, I owe it all to them preparing me when I was still in college for this job.
Well, before I go any further with you, JJ always kills me because I take his questions. I'm gonna let JJ have you for a second.
Coach, it's a pleasure to meet you. And I'm like Darryl. I was thinking to myself, this guy doesn't look very old. So tell me what it's been like with the learning how to do recruiting players to come to your college. Like, what's the recruiting process been like for you? Because like you said, you came in at almost like 22 or 23 years old. So who taught you how to recruit properly, or is that something that you did yourself?
Recruiting for me was a real journey and learning experience. So our school, our basis is, we are in the NCCAA, which a lot of people don't know what that is. It's the National Christian College Athletic Association. We have a conference, we have a national tournament. We play a full schedule of 30 games, and then we have a JV team too. So we kind of took a different approach with being a non-scholarship athletic scholarship school. Um, we wanted to develop our JV team just as much as we put into develop our varsity team. So we started off recruiting a bunch of guys that we felt like other colleges were either undervaluing or they didn't get recruited very well. And we brought those guys in, and then over the past 4 years, all those guys have been developing and getting better and have been a part of our varsity team in the future. Like, our JV team is just as good as our varsity team. Each year we try to recruit, 5 to 10 high school freshmen, 2 transfers that all can come in, and if they don't make the varsity team, you know, they're going to play 30 games for our JV and get reps instead of sitting on a bench, at another school for a varsity team where they don't play and they practice all year, and they're just kind of practice dummies. They come to us, win 20 games JV. We've had a very successful JV team, and our JV coach, Zach Freeman, does a really good job of developing those guys. And then after their sophomore year or after their freshman year, we'll say, "Hey, you dominated. You did a really good job, JV. It's time to pull you up for varsity." So that's kind of how we started the process 4 years ago, and since then we've had 17 players get elevated from JV to varsity.
That was really impressive. And, I talked to one of my local friends. He's a local high school coach. And that's one thing that he mentioned was one of his favorite things to do was to, help develop kids on the JV level. Because whenever he and I were growing up, like, JV wasn't considered something that people took seriously. It was always like, okay, these kids aren't really good enough to play varsity, but we still want to give them a chance to play and make them feel good about themselves. So we're going to let them play, and they never developed them. So that's one thing that stands out to me about you as a coach is you consider JV an opportunity to develop, and then you legitimately give these kids an opportunity to play on the varsity level. And I think that's really cool. And so is it difficult to sell people, like whenever you're recruiting, like, because you're such a young coach and with limited experience, like whenever you first started recruiting, was it tough, like giving people a sales pitch?
It was. When I first started recruiting, we didn't even have a gym. So we were recruiting on the basis of, hey, we're building this new school, this new program. We've got a brand new gym coming with brand new uniforms. And the cool thing is we were able to win a national championship within, a season after COVID, which was absolutely awesome. And being able to do that at such a year 3 really helped the rest of the recruiting. Being able to pitch that success of, hey, listen, we know what we're doing. Come trust our process. You'll get to experience success. I think a lot of kids in high school, especially in the state of Kentucky, like, it's super competitive. Only 16 teams get to finish their season at RUP, and then only one team finishes as a champ, which, in other states, you've got 4 or 5 different state champs. A lot of kids don't get to experience playing in RUP or winning a district championship or winning a region championship or let alone a state championship. So we kind of sell them on, hey, listen, we've got championship success at CU Harrodsburg. Over the past 6 years, we've won 3 championships. Come be a part of that. Like, I find a lot of joy in helping kids win their first championship, and seeing them cut down the nets and, like we say, climb the ladder.
Well, you literally stole my follow-up question because I was going to ask you how your seasons have been going for the last couple of years, but to win 3 championships is really impressive. So I'm going to do at least one fun question. So you said that you ran track back in the day?
You cut out there. Sorry.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I said that you actually stole my follow-up question because I was going to ask you how you've been doing so far, but to win 3 championships, Coach, that's really impressive, and congratulations to that. I'm gonna give you one fun question. So you said that you ran track back in the day?
Yes.
What'd you run?
I ran the 400, the 800, and the 600 indoor.
Oh, so you were a long distance runner?
Yes,
So
I was mid to long distance guy.
Oh wow! So have you been keeping up with the Olympics so far?
I have a little bit. I've been
Yeah.
still recruiting and getting ready for our prospect camp that we've got coming up tomorrow and Friday. But yeah, the Olympics have been really, really fun to watch and just see on TV. It's a fun time of year.
Absolutely. I seen where one guy, I think he broke like a 1,500-meter record.
Yeah, there's been so many world records broken. I mean, I was joking with my wife, like those guys are almost 8 to 10 seconds ahead of me. That's almost a full half lap.
I'm sure you was still pretty good, but I definitely wish you the best of luck there. I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, Coach. As we're moving on here, you've been all over the state this summer. You've been, I've seen you in Louisville, I've seen you in Lexington, I've seen you, here in the mountains. Right now, getting this close, to the school year starting and you guys getting started, is it hard to manage your time, when, you got all these camps and all these clinics wanting to pull you here and there, but you're also trying to get back and get your team started up?
It is. It's a part of the job. It comes with the territory. I absolutely love giving kids opportunities, and I feel like I'm doing them a disjustice if I don't get out and travel and see the state and see who's out there. If we miss somebody in the state that we feel like we can get, because all 35 kids that are in our program are from the state of Kentucky. We've had some out-of-state kids in the past couple years, but we take a lot of pride in recruiting Kentucky. So I take a lot of pride in getting out to events, and my wife is very understanding. This is our second year of marriage, and she understands what comes with the job and me being out. She's really supportive in that, and I'm blessed to have her on my side with that. And CU Harrodsburg does a really good job of helping provide me resources to get out to these camps and get out to recruit kids. They understand it's a part of the business of what college athletics is. And, I enjoy it. I enjoy meeting the kids. We've got a lot of mountain prospects, kids from the area that we're recruiting that we've offered. Made Hoops Camp was a really good thing for us to be able to see all of those kids and for me to be able to interact with them. And I'm excited to get out and watch high school games when those get started.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that I wanted to get to. That's why, guys, for you guys that don't know, Coach Sparrow, one of our favorite coaches here at the D&D Sports Network, because the way you recruit mountain athletes. Since you come on the job, I'm sitting here, I know I'll forget some, but you're talking Jacob Rice, Isaiah May from Johnson Central. You're talking Tyke Peterson from Belfry, Kobe Fugit. You got Deshaun Watson up there this year from Rowland. Trying to
don't forget about the national champ Mason Blair himself.
Mason Blair, yes.
Yep.
And now didn't you have another?
I have Jack Rose from Powell County as well.
Yep.
Trying to think some other kids. They'll come to my mind in a second.
Yeah, they and whenever you take and look at, people always say mountain kids. One of the hardest things when we first started D&D Sports Network, and David, that was one thing that we really put a lot of effort into trying to, change the perception of mountain athletes, because everybody always knew throughout history, mountain kids are going to do one thing. They're going to come there, they're going to stay a semester, and then they're going to come back home to mommy and daddy. And a lot of it is because here in the mountains, it's a little different because, these kids are built up to be the biggest things in their towns. They are the show. But whenever they get there and they're just one of 12 or one of 15, it's harder for them to deal with that, and then not being the guy all the time that's getting the shots, the ball. Have you found, is there any difference that you've seen in mountain recruits compared to recruits across the state?
I think the biggest thing is they're really tough kids. I think mountain kids are really tough kids. A lot of the kids, the competition that they have played throughout their high school, there's some programs that will travel to Central Kentucky, and there's some programs that'll travel to Louisville and travel to Lexington and really, play those top 25 teams in the state. But the overall competition level of the players, them getting up here and seeing, like you said, that we have 10 to 12 other guys that are just as good as them, that play different positions, that do different things. Mountain basketball is really good basketball. I don't get me wrong there. There's a lot of great teams, a lot of great programs, a lot of great coaches that we love to recruit from. I think the kids overall, like, for example, Made Hoops, having Jackson Keene there, having Carter Parsons, having your son, having all those kids that can come up here and compete and see the talent that they're competing against. I think that's a great opportunity for them to kind of just open their eyes and see everything and not just see what's in the mountains, because a lot of times they just aren't able to get out and compete against the rest of the state.
Yeah, and that was the biggest thing, with my son, is, I seen him take a big step forward in that Made Hoops camp, because he's always been the defensive guy and, the guy doing the dirty work. And then whenever he got to compete against that kind of talent, it was really fun just to watch him, take on more of a leadership role. And, especially he'll be moving schools. So, that Made Hoop camp, they don't realize how much that helps kids here from the mountains. Every one of them that went there, I've seen all the mountain kids just about it. I mean, I've seen probably 20 of them there, and probably 18 of them had good camps, and that just shows that these mountain athletes, they can compete with anybody across the state when given an opportunity.
Yep.
Exactly right. Right now, I know in the mountains, I'm sitting here and I probably forgot some, but I do know that you offered Parker Watts and Jackson Keene and I know you got Jaden Stewart tightly on your radar. Yep. When you talk about them three, what drew you to them three?
With Parker, it's his athleticism. The kid's really athletic, but also I noticed at camp, he was taking a lot of shots. He was hitting a lot of shots, but also his energy on the defensive end was still there. He was competing, trying to block shots. He was sprinting back. He was rebounding. I mean, Parker was the biggest kid on our team that we had for Made Hoops camp, and he's what, 6'4.5",
Yep.
and he was competing against 6'6", 6'8" post players the 2 days that we were there. So he has a lot of heart, and that drew me to him. Jackson has been to 2 different schools, and I'm excited to see what he does this year at Pikeville. I know he was there last year, and getting into the system and things like that. I think he's going to have a big year. He's got a really good shot on him. I think he's a guy that can play the 1 or the 2, whatever you really need him to play. He's a good kid. He can score the ball. So I'm excited to see what his trajectory is over the next 2 years. We've offered Carter Parsons. I think we offered him, class of 26. I know he's a heck of a quarterback too. We're going to keep recruiting him for basketball. I know he loves basketball. He's got a great family. The kid can absolutely shoot the rock. So he's another kid that can shoot it and score it, but he's also still got that heart. He doesn't mind getting on the floor, getting loose balls. Then you got guys who we haven't offered yet, but we're really, really, really close. You've got Jaden Stewart, who is a phenomenal scorer. He's a big body. He's athletic. I think getting him to campus for our prospect camp is really going to help us in that recruitment process.
Yeah, and that's the big thing when you talk about them kids. Covering them on a daily basis here in the mountains. they're all different kids that you've recruited there. You know, Carter, he's a kid that likes to get out in transition. You know, he finishes well in transition, you know, whether it's running to the rim or running to the 3-point line. You know, you got to find him, you know, whenever you're on a fast break. But then, you know, Jackson King, he's more of a mid-range shooter. You know, he's really good at getting to his spots. You know, that's probably his best part of his game, that, you know, he knows where his spots are and he can get to them with ease. And then Parker, you know, what can you say? I mean, that kid, I really think he's going to be the shocker in the state this year. I think that coming over from West Virginia, a lot of people don't realize, you know, you was talking about him playing against 6'8" and 6'10" kids in camp. You know, he grew up in Tulsa where he had to do that. He was all they had, you know, and he dropped 4 50-point games his junior year. You know, the kid plays above the rim. You know, like I promise you this, there won't be, unless it's Michael Moreno, there won't be a guy that will have more dunks than Parker in the state of Kentucky this season.
I agree on that. I agree on that. I'll take that.
But then Jaden, you know, this year it's going to be tough. You know, Jaden, he's got a lot to prove. Parker's coming in his back door. They'll be battling for 15th Region Player of the Year. You know, there's a few other outliers, Ian Knox from Pikeville, and then I think with Estridge going to Belfry, I think those would be your 4 front runners for Player of the Year. But it's you know, Jaden, he's a kid, shoots the 3-ball really well. You know, he grew up in middle school. He was a projected 7-footer, and he never did, you know, really pan out. He got about 6'5", 6'6", and stopped growing. So credit, you know, a lot of people always told him, and that was the knock on him early, is that, you know, all Jaden wants to do is shoot threes. Well, he had faith in himself that he could, you know, possess guard skills, and now he's went out and made himself a more well-rounded player when a lot of people tried keeping him in the post because, as you know, 6'6", that's a center here in the mountains. So, you know, I think, you know, every one of them kids, you know, you couldn't go wrong with, and the thing is, they're all high-character kids.
Yep. There's a couple other guys that we've got, you know, on our radar, figuring out what we're going to do with them as far as, you know, JV varsity. And, you know, that's the big thing is selling them on our school and selling them on our process. You know, we want great players, but also we want kids and we want players that want to be at Campbellsville, Harrodsburg. You know, we want guys that are invested in our program and take pride in our program and want me to coach them. So I'm excited.
Well, I tell you this, Coach, and you can thank me later. Go ahead and get that pen and paper and write down the name Evan Eversole.
Evan Eversole. Okay.
From Hazard. The kid, if Xander Carter will probably be the D&D Player of the Year this year there at Ashland, but Evan Eversole will be that second one. I mean, the kid can play 5 positions. He can guard 5 positions. He's coached by a Hall of Fame coach at Hazard. I mean, he went to the EKU camp, and they put him over on like the second tier prospects, and he flat out dominated them, and everybody there was screaming why he wasn't over there on that main court with all the top ones they was recruiting. You know, was a shame. But that kid right there, he may be the toughest, hard-nosed kid in the mountain. He comes from good stock, and you'll be surprised. Look into him, and I promise you, that's a kid you want on your team.
I believe I watched him play either a year or two ago at the All-A state tournament at EKU.
Yeah, this year they should be playing at Rupp. Now, him and Austin Sperry, they'll go head-to-head in the 14th region. They're the clear 2 front runners for the Player of the Year and to win region. So one of them two will probably be representing the 14th region in the Sweet 16. But, you know, Eversole, I mean, I'm telling you, Coach, it's been a long time since I've seen a kid like Evan Eversole. When you watch him, his motor, relentless motor, the kid – the way that he's able to jump out guards with his size, I mean, it's highly impressive. So, That brings us to your camp. That's why we got you on here today, talking about your camp this weekend. Upperclassmen starts Thursday, underclassmen Friday. Tell us a little bit about this camp.
So it's our prospect camp, and we've got right now 11 other colleges coming in our doors to check out the talent that we've got coming in. Alice Lloyd, Berea, Center, Transy, Lindsey Wilson, Campbellsville, Welch College, which is a team in our conference, Simmons College, Boyce College. You've got a couple junior colleges coming up as well. So I'm excited to see all of those coaches get to evaluate the talent and see kind of, our product that we put out there for camp, and see all these Kentucky kids. I'm all about getting Kentucky kids opportunities, and that's what this camp's about. On tomorrow, August 8th, from 4 to 7 is class of 2025 at our gym, Whitaker Family Court. And then August 9th is class of 26, 27, and 28. So like you said, underclassmen is August 9th, and that's from 4 to 7 as well. So we're going to get plenty of live videos. We'll get plenty of action shots and plenty of action videos up after the camp is done. So you guys will see what the finished product is, and hopefully a bunch of Kentucky kids walk away with offers. That's my big thing is, a lot of Kentucky's got a lot of top tier talent right now. Michael Moreno, Caden Magwood, Gabe Wise. I mean, you're talking about guys that are getting recruited nationally. Like, I'm super excited to see all of that for our state. But I just kind of wanted to put together a big prospect camp this year so that kids that were playing or looking to play at the NAIA level, the D3 level, or need a junior college year, that they have a camp this year where they're getting exposed to those coaches face to face.
Yeah, and that's the important thing about coming to this camp. This is a camp that for the majority of the state, you can come and you can walk away with an offer. With the colleges you got coming, and very impressed with that. Now, I do know the last year, I that's one thing that y'all do well too, is y'all go out to these other camps. I know last year, I think it was Asbury,
Yep.
You had one of your guys there. How, is it very important for you to go and support these other schools, even though they're schools that you're recruiting against, but you're still there for them and help them promote their camps? Is that relationship important for you?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's a fraternity of brothers and coaches that throughout the state, we're all trying to see each other win. You've got Center, Transy, Asbury, Berea, that are all at the Division III level, and I would love to see one of them win the national championship, because that ultimately means, if we beat them or we play them, we're competing against them. That's a high level team, and I want to see teams from the state of Kentucky do well. We invite every team in the state to our camp every year, and I've had 5 to 6 of them invite me. You've got Cumberland's Kentucky and Asbury's camp on Saturday. I'm going to Cumberland's Kentucky's camp, and my assistant is going to Asbury. And anytime that we can see a big group, a big pool of prospects together in one gym, it takes a lot of the travel or a lot of the grunt work that we have to do through the season to go, watch 10 to 15 games every 2 weeks. We can do it now in the summer. We're able to get ahead, and we get out some of these class of 25 and 26 offers early.
And the thing I like about going to camps like CU Harrisburg, Asbury, Transy, schools, Midway, schools like that, is when you bring them to camp, you're playing ball and you're getting to see what the kid can do. I've seen a lot of camps you go to, and you're there for 4 hours, but 2 hours you're watching videos promoting the school and the area and all that. But you guys are there. You're going through drills. You're playing. From the second you get on there, and I think that's important because you're actually getting to see eyes on the kids. And it makes the kids feel like the trip was worth it.
Yep, some stretching, some ball handling. We do 2 stations of. We do a finishing station, a shooting station, a 4-on-4 station. So about 35 to 40 minutes of stations. And then the rest of the 2 hours, we're letting those guys get up and down and compete against in front of the coaches.
Well, they a slew of mountain talent around here, Coach, for you to jump on. The 2027 class is absolutely stacked. You will be surprised whenever I know I talked to a couple yesterday that said that they was registering today. I'm pretty sure Brody Little, he turned his ankle, but hopefully he'll be ready to come Friday. You'll be impressed with that kid, Zaid Rash. You can go Elijah Neal. You ever get a chance to look at him? Caleb Rimmer. Those are all 2027 kids you need to write down. Of course, you got Keithley and Sloan. But then trying to think. One question I wanted to ask you this summer, and I won't keep you much longer because we're up against the break. But who is outside of the ones you mentioned, Gabe Weiss, of course, Moreno, and take Jasper out of the equation. Who is the best prospect in Kentucky that you've seen this summer?
Parker Watts. No, I love Parker. I'm saying that.
That will go a long ways with him, Coach.
I'm saying that Parker Watts. I was really impressed with him. I also think someone who's on the younger side is Josh Lindsey. He was at that Made Hoops camp. He's class of 27. Goes to Male. I think he's going to Male or Trinity, but he's a Louisville kid. He was like 5. I think he's 5'10", and he did an East Bay between the legs. Probably one of the most athletic kids. Yes, probably one of the most athletic kids in the state. He really impressed me, and he played in that top 20 game and did pretty well at the end too.
Yeah, and to me, a kid that I knew very little about, but I got to see at that EKU camp is a kid by the name of Justice Decker. Have you seen him? That kid is insane. I mean, you can watch the way he plays. He plays violently. Like when he grabs rebounds, it's with intensity. Everything he does is intensity. I felt sorry for the kids he was playing against.
There's so much talent. Like for us, we can't necessarily go wrong this year with who we bring in. We just want to make sure it's kids that want to be at our school. With the transfer portal the way that it is, there'll probably be 1 or 2 guys throughout the next year that transfer in or transfer out. That's just kind of how everything rolls. But you got those top 15 guys that are getting recruited nationally, and then there is a whole slew of 200 to 50 other guys that are really, really good.
Yeah, and that's one thing, I really hope that you can land Parker Watts because I know what the kid can do for your program. I mean, this is a kid. Parker Watts, Coach, is a Division I kid. If Martin County and Coach James, the coaching staff there, I think will have a grave impact on him and really help him, in some areas that he may have deficiencies. But I think by the time this kid graduates, this kid's a Division I level kid, and Parker's a loyal kid. You get on him early, and I think you got a chance with Parker. And I hope that they come down there. Is he coming to your camp tomorrow?
He's coming down, so we're gonna show him campus, and we've got a lot of other kids that are coming down that we're excited about too, from the mountains and that we've been talking to for the past couple of years that have been coming to our prospect camp that have really been grinding out the process. So you'll definitely see some more mountain offers over the next 2 days.
Well, hopefully you get Jaden Stewart, you get the Jaden Stewart, Parker Watts down there. That's the show that everybody wants to see. Hopefully we can see that at CU Harrodsburg. And, I look forward to coming down and seeing what you do, Coach, because you are the best at recruiting the mountains. So I want to thank you for joining us, Coach. And anything you need from us, we're here for you.
Thank you, guys. You all have a blessed day.
All right, you too, Coach. Thanks. Guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on the Startup Morning Show with J.J. Pruitt and Darryl McCoy. Don't forget, Weston Harris coming up at 9:15.
Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
Winning tire shop that focuses on customer service that's family owned and family operated. Stop by and see our friends Jeremy and Chasta at Punk's Tires. If you have a hectic work schedule and you're looking for a non-stressful, convenient way to buy tires, take advantage of Punk's Tires appointment Saturdays. If they don't have the tire you're looking for, they guarantee it to have it the next day. Punk's Tires can take care of all your needs in tires, wheels, wheel alignments, brakes, rotors, minor mechanic work, and more. They'll treat you like family from the second you walk through the door. Come see us in Virgie, Kentucky, or give us a call at 606-639-TIRE. That's 606-639-TIRE. And we are back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy here. JJ, great interview, and like I told you, the coach is one of the he's first class.
He's a terrific coach and even better person. And like you said, one of the things that stood out to me is how he always looks out for the mountain kids. He gives them an opportunity.
I almost feel bad that Facebook didn't get a chance to watch that, because that was one of the better interviews that we've done.
Absolutely. But you know what? Whenever we share it later on the page, people will have opportunity to go back and watch it.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to share that soon for you folks. It's been a great show from start to end. But JJ, we got a slew of other stuff to talk about. As I want to take a second to talk about some of the local stuff going on. Shout out to Leanne Jackson from Pikeville, JJ. And it looks like Facebook is good now, so I think we can post on Facebook. Yeah, so now I tell you what, let's end this stream and then come back on Facebook real quick.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I'll go ahead and text my mother.